The head of the Texas Department of Public Safety walked through a detailed timeline of how the shooting happened based on video evidence, witness interviews, and 911 calls. 11:27 a.m., video shows a teacher propping open a side door at Robb Elementary School. 11:28 a.m., the gunman crashed his truck into a nearby ditch, crawled out the passenger side, and started running with a backpack. The gunman fired shots at two men at a funeral home across the street from the school. 11:30 a.m., the teacher who propped open the door called 911 on the phone to report the crash and gunshots. 1 minute later, 11:31 a.m., video shows the gunman in the last row of vehicles in the school parking lot. He began shooting at the school and hid behind a car. At the same time, police arrived at the funeral home, and the school resource officer, who was not on the campus initially, arrived at the school and drove past the gunman hidden in the parking lot. Several rounds of shots were fired next at 11:32 and 27 seconds and 11:32 and 36 seconds. At 11:33, the video shows the gunman entering the school through the side door that had been propped open. DPS says the gunman fired into room 111 and 112. More than 100 rounds were fired based on audio. At 11:35, 5 minutes after the 911 call, 3 police officers went into the school through the same door propped open. 2 of those 3 officers were grazed by bullets. 3 other Uvalde police officers and a deputy county sheriff also went into the school. There was more gunfire at 11:37, 11:38, 11:40, and 11:44. At 11:51, a police sergeant and Border Patrol agents start to arrive. 12 minutes later, 19 law enforcement officers were inside the hallway. Both classroom doors were locked. At the same time, 12:03, a student inside classroom 112 called 911. 12:10, the same caller told 911 there were multiple dead. 3 minutes later, at 12:13, the caller told 911 that 8 to 9 students were alive. At 12:15, Border Patrol tactical officers arrived at the scene with shields 45 minutes after the initial 911 call. Another 911 call came in at 12:19, this one from classroom 111, but another student told the caller to hang up. At 12:21, at least 3 shots were overheard on a 911 call. We're now at almost an hour past that first call for help. At 12:36, the student who called 911 from classroom 112 called back to say the gunman had shot the door. At 12:43, with at least 19 law enforcement officers inside the hallway, the student begged the 911 operator, "Please send police now." At 12:46, the student told 911 she could hear police next door. That student eventually made it out of the school alive. At 12:50, 80 minutes after the first 911 call, officers breached the door using a janitor's keys and killed the gunman.